for wife, because I thought he was talking about having.
Good morning, good morning. Now you're on. Good morning. It is Sunday. I think it's February the 7th. It is chilly out here. But I decided I'd do a little vlog for you. I have been off air for a while. I've done a couple of videos, podcasts, but I haven't been on air because I have not been well. And so the Manifesting Friday Live just kind of went by the wayside in January. So I'm planning on bringing it back as I start feeling better. But, you know, this channel is not just about the law of attraction and manifesting and those kind of things. It's also about some of the things that I do. And it's the 1st of February, so I have started some of my starts for my garden. So underneath this, so it's kind of like a hothouse, greenhouse, I've got some onion starts that I picked up at, Home Depot. I've got a bunch here in a set. I've got a bunch over on that side. In here, I have tried to start leeks. And leeks take a while to start. But I wanted them out here where there was sunlight. But I want them protected because it is still subject to freeze. Later on this week, there's going to be some freezing temperatures, and so I want them protected. You know, this is my sitting porch, and so I'm going to show you some of the things that I'm doing. Like I said, over here on the other side, I've got some plants started. And that's the one thing about here outside. It's very difficult for me to see the screen. But right there are some more onions. And here are green cabbages. I've got Chinese cabbage and regular cabbage and some other brassicas. Let me look at the stick because that's why we have sticks on here. I can't tell because I don't have my glass. Oh, the lacinato kale is right here because I tried sowing it in the ground and it just didn't come up. So anyway, yeah, there's a bird right on that roof over here on the corner. Love it. There's quite a few other ones making his noise. So, yep. This is the backyard, unkempt, and I'm going to put this down a little bit so it'll be easy for me to do. And I still got a lot of leaves to pick up. But here is, I thought I was growing collards, and it turns out to be broccoli. But they didn't get very big, so we're going to deal. And I've got kale. And of course, this is my herb garden right here. Now, one of the things most people do when the fall comes and the winter times comes, they, you know, harvest everything and bring everything up. I don't. I got rid of my tomato plants and my pepper plants and those kind of things, but I'm still growing. I still have celery growing here. This is red mustard. I've got cabbages, but I don't get a lot of sun like other people's backyard because of the house and the fence, but I've got there's two cabbages, small heads. This is mustard greens. And then I have another small cabbage. I sowed a ton of onion seeds all in this area, and none of them came up, but some of them came up in that pot. So I'm looking at that. Here is, it's not bok choy, it's po choy, but it's a smaller brassica. I still have radishes. One of the things I learned is if I don't have, I'm not ready to eat them yet, I don't harvest them. So there's some really big radishes in there for me. I've already harvested off of this pak choy, and now it's going to seed, and I'm going to let it go to seed. I've got Swiss chard growing, purple kale, red Russian kale. This is, in this one, where's my finger? Okay. In this one is Chinese cabbage that's finally coming up, and I'll thin those out. Some more radishes, some more red Russian kale, some collards. What else do I have here? This is broccoli, which I thought, again, was, so the package that I have is mislabeled, so it's there. Some more purple kale that I have. Sorry about that. In this area was pepper plants, and now I still have, can't see my screen, but this is Swiss chard that I think is coming up this year, because it's been down there about 3 years. It's a 3-year Swiss chard plant. I got a small collard plant or broccoli. This is parsley that is now 1.5 years old, so it should be going to seed this year. I've planted more parsley and cilantro and some carrots just recently in these pots, and I've talked about these pots before. Here's another broccoli plant. Hopefully I'm seeing that. And this is definitely colored right in here. So I have those growing. There's another colored plant back on the other side. So yeah, I haven't really cleaned up this yard. I've got some more parsley growing, still parsley growing, some Chinese cabbage. I still have celery growing over here. Hopefully you can see that. So celery growing over here. I've got, other things growing in this area. More celery. So I got tons of celery growing. And then I'm trying to turn around so I can see what I can see over here on the porch. So more radishes and Swiss chard, yellow Swiss chard, and mint is still growing for me. But all in all, my poor yard, it's not a poor yard. It's still producing all winter. And no, it's not that pretty yard. You see people with those really pretty yards and how gorgeous they are, and I'm just growing food, right? I'm just growing food and doing things as I need to. But this is the February 7th garden that has been producing all winter with collard greens and mustard greens and pak choy and radishes and purple kale. And so now I'm in the process of working on the spring. So one of the things I'm going to do, because my raised beds, the tree roots keep invading the raised beds, so I'm using those little black pots, and I get those pots at the florist. So if you go to the florist and ask for her water pots that her plants go in, you can get a lot of those. I got like 20 some of them, and I've used them to grow potatoes and leeks, and as you see, I've got bok choy in them and radishes in them and all kinds of things. These blue pots I got at the end of the season at Home Depot. I have a green pot that's similar that I wound up buying. I forget where they were. The home store, and they were marked down. And so that's what I used to grow my tomatoes in and big stuff. And right now, though, I did put in here some of my onion plants.